Hello everybody, it's your boy HaremGod, and here's another video on the YouTube. Now, as I said in my other videos, I'm going to start doing like more content more often because like I just need to put more content out, and I apologize for not putting out enough content. But today's episode is going to be a very special episode since it's up and popping right now and I need those clicks. So let's talk about Redo of a Healer, episodes 1 through 3. Now, the reason why I'm only doing the episodes 1 through 3 because that's the only ones that are out by now, and I'm just going to be doing these 3 episodes at a time for it to get done faster, and I can just say what I want to say about it and what are my thoughts about it. Now, Redo of a Healer, I wouldn't even classify it as anime, more of like art. An art of the masterful art of a dumpster fire, because this is like a really bad dumpster fire. Like, it is so bad that you cannot look away from it, but the more you look at it, the more you're intrigued. But you know you gotta look away because all the fumes and the smells of all the stuff that's burning in there, all those plasticky fumes, all those tropey, just icky garbage burning smells. But you gotta sit through it anyways. And then you hope that you might hope that the fire might go out, but it doesn't. It never goes out. And for somebody who has read some of the manga, I could tell that this redo of a healer, most likely is taking more inspiration from the light novel, because I heard the light novel is way worse than the manga, and I can see that now because I'll get into it when I talk about episode 2. Now, for a little backstory, this is a isekai anime, you know, because everybody, well, technically not an isekai, but it does take place in another world. And technically it is an isekai because he uses his power to restart the world, so it is technically another world, but going back in time. I don't even want to get into like defining it as an anime type, but look, I'm gonna just give you the TLDR. So basically, there's heroes in this world. Like you already know, it's a healer is a class of hero, anyways. So our main character, I'm just gonna call him watered down Rance, but somehow more toxic Rance. Anyways, so he finds out that he's a healer. So he gets hype and everything. The princess comes to town, yada yada yada. Come get him. He finds out that he's a healer type, and all this bad stuff happens to him, like really bad stuff. So yada yada yada. We get all the way up to the final boss fight. You know, the final boss fight is up in the air. Got the one wing with the Sephiroth. Nah, it's not Sephiroth, it's just the waifu. Anyways, he fights the Sephiroth waifu. And it turns out that she might not actually be the bad guy. Because as you can see throughout this series, and if you read the manga and a little bit of the light novel, you could tell that everybody in this kingdom is trash. Like, most of the main characters are garbage. Like, 99.9% of them are garbage. Flaming garbage people. But that's not all. Okay, so he goes back and he finds a way to go back in time with some mumbo jumping overpower healer stuff. I'm gonna get on to talk about that healer stuff later, like how overpowered that power is apparently. So apparently this dude goes back in time, somehow lost his memory at some point, but then somehow was able to remind himself to go somewhere so he can regain his memory. So there's like this gigantic pond in the middle of the forest for no reason, not really explained how he knew it was there or why it is there. Like, it's just a gigantic big old pond. You can see a whole bunch of stars. A fairy comes out, gives his eye powers. What is with anime and always having somebody have eye powers? Like, this hasn't been done before, like, a gazillion times. Anyways, he regains his memories. So, after he regains his memories, he remembers all the bad stuff that happened to him, such as the drugging, the booty warring. Yeah, you're gonna get this reference later. If you watch the Boondocks, you'll understand. I'll play a clip later. I gotta edit it and stuff. But anyways, so this man got the eye power, can see everything, can see people's stats, and can see how powerful people is or whatever. So then he goes into the woods and starts preparing himself because he already knows he's going to end up being drugged up and everything else. So he wants to get poison and narcotic resistance. So he just spends like a few weeks just smashing on mushrooms. Like, this man's just eating mushrooms left and right like he Mario or something. Like, this man got to have a whole bunch of lives or something, or he got to be gigantic or whatever, because this nigga's just smashing on mushrooms. Like, this nigga is just eating them like left and right. Like, this man is just eating mushrooms. Yeah, mushrooms. I was about to say marshmallows. Forget that. Anyways, so we get to the part where the princess comes, and this is in the second timeline. So most of the stuff that happens in the second timeline is what happened in the original timeline, because he has to do stuff, has to plan his revenge and stuff, and he has to follow the same timeline rules or whatever, just secretly. He's in control of whatever, his life or whatever, but he waits until later. So anyways, they take him to the kingdom, and he ends up healing their sword saint, their best sword fighter or whatever, because she lost an arm or whatever. So he heals her arm, and he collapsed to the ground, because when you heal, apparently, well, partially, sometimes, heal is a buggy cheat skill. Anyway, so when he heals somebody, he feels all the pain that person, that, like, whatever that injury went through. So if he healed somebody's arm, he would feel like all the sorrow and sadness and all the pain that somebody did when they lost that arm. Which is, this is just only for like a few occasions, but then he passes out, and then so the princess starts to show her real colors of how she's really one of the worst people ever. Like, indeed, one of the worst people that have ever existed in all of anime. Like, she's worse than Melty. No, it's Malty. It's Melty or Malty, whichever one. From Shield Hero. She's like one of the really worst people ever. So after all this, some maids come into his room. I don't know if I'm getting them parts mixed up, but some maids come to his room, and they, like, how do I put this? They come to get his seeds of power, because apparently bodily fluids from heroes give you power, increase your power level or whatever. But the whole time they're doing this, he's stealing their power from them. He's stealing skills from them and everything else. So he's slowly becoming more and more overpowered because of this weird freaking heal thing. Like, it's like really, really weird. So when we get to episode 2, we realize that, ooh, shit is about to hit the fan really fast, because in the beginning, he's like he already knows, like, he has to get prepared, because he knows that they give him some tea, and he knows that it's filled with narcotics or whatever, and he has to take a lot of strength to do it. Like, he has to mentally prepare himself, because he already knows what's going to happen, and how he got to act like he's not addicted to the drug or whatever, and he got to act like he's actually, like, addicted to it, even though he knows he's really not. So then they start drugging him, and then they start doing things to the man's. Like, you start to feel bad for him until the end of the episode, because the man's just getting his Krabby Patties flattened. Like, his Krabby Patties flattened, flipped, tossed, grilled, getting crusty everywhere, getting milked like a cow. Everything. Like, it's like, this man just went through so much, and he had to do that for 6 months. 6 months of him getting booty warriored. 6 months. Half a year, because he had to wait for the king to leave so he could formulate the rest of the plan of his revenge. So towards the end of this, when she first started beginning to drug him, she drugged him and then stomped on him and kicked him in balls. Now, she does this a lot. later further on, and then when I get to the talking about the next episode. So, anyways, so the regular stuff happens, blah 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 blah. Regular anime stuff. He continues to get violated, like the terms of service of certain stuff. And I'd feel violated if you didn't hit that sub button and that like thing, or just share the video or whatever, or just comment anything at all. Shameless plug out of the way. Oh, speaking of shameless plugging, oh yeah, he was getting plugged shamelessly. But also speaking of shamelessly plugging something, I do a podcast. Yep, here's another ad in the middle of the video. So yeah, I do a podcast. I'm doing them once a week, but I didn't do one this week because I had to go to the dentist, and then I have to do a whole bunch of other stuff. But you will be getting weekly podcasts on anime and whatever other stuff I decide to talk about. But anyways, back to the video explanation of this horrendous dumpster fire that I cannot look away from. So anyways, the one guard hits him 28 times, and he tells him he's gonna remember that it's 28 lashes. So later on, when he finally breaks free, he uses his alchemy healing powers that he got from healing an old alchemist dude, because he steals powers. Like I said, the healing is weird. So he uses his healing alchemy to rest the bars, and then he assaults the people read the manga didn't find this out, but until the surprise reveal that he had beat up the one guard and transformed him completely into how he looked, our protagonist Kiaru, how he actually looked, and then he turned into the guard that was beating on him or whatever, and he got the collar around that to make sure that he couldn't talk, so they wouldn't be able to tell if it wasn't him. So anyway, he goes inside the princess's room, Princess Flare. She's really horrible person, like I said. So he goes in the room. The two guards ain't stand a chance. Got cut right in half on some Dragon Ball Z stuff, just sliced right in half. One fluid motion. He might be one of the best swordsmen in anime. I'm gonna get canceled for that. Oh my god, why did I say that? Anyways, so he comes in and starts to get his revenge. He starts off by breaking her fingers. Just breaking them, just snapping them and snapping them. And then he makes a bet with her, oh, if you could survive me breaking all 10 of your fingers without screaming, I'll let you go, and I'll just leave and whatever. But if you look, if she loses, she has to let him do what he want to do with the goodies. You know what I'm saying? He gotta let her do what he want to do with them goodies. All right. Alright, so now we get into the controversial scene. So after the finger breaking, he starts to have his way. So he makes her legs unable to move with his healing power, because heal does everything. And then there's a certain point before it starts that he grabs a rod. He grabs a rod out of the freaking, one of those fire poker rods. I'm gonna put a picture of whatever it's called. So he puts that in the fireplace, heats it up, one of those fireplace bar things, and tells her you can either get this rod or that rod. And he said he doesn't really care. You can get both at the same time. And I'm like, so, this protagonist might not be a very good protagonist. I don't think he's a protagonist at all. I'm like, everybody in this anime is trash. Absolute garbage in this anime. So anyways, so the way she was acting, he said that like I say, he could say you could either have that rod or his. So he said the way that she was acting made him soft. So what did he do? He used heal to make his schlong a schlong, like schlonger, and then he hit her with the Minecraft bread He slapped her in the face with that Minecraft bread. You know that picture of Steve that they had took out the Steve eating the meat? They were at the right frame. That's what it looked like. He hit her with the Minecraft bread. So then the scene, very high quality hentai scene. It's like hentai budget scene, like, but very bad. So after all that, he burns down her room, first he changes her face, erases her memories, makes her a whole brand new person, and then burns down her room, make it look like he killed her or escaped with her. So then he's in a hotel room with her. He gave her a new name, new face, new memories, turned her into his attendant, if you know what I'm saying. So he gets a little schmickle schmackle, you know what I'm saying, boys. So then he just changed his face slightly to make his head look less round. Like, it looks like his face went from like a round child face to like an average anime teen face. So that was only the first 2 episodes. Episode 3 is where stuff really gets bad. So in the next episode, they're out roughing it out in the woods, just chilling, and then he has he's having a nightmare, or a flashback, or probably a flashback to this timeline or the last one. It's not really sure if that happened in this timeline or whatever, when he was out with Flare, the sword hero, not the one that he healed, the Blade. Oh yeah, that's her name, Blade, I think. He was out there with Blade, Bullet, and Flare. Now, I'm not scared of Blade or freaking Flare. I am really scared of the big black dude, Bullet. Bullet is so. I'll get to him later. So anyways, the episode begins with her pouring a little bit of that purple druggy drug on the kitty cat and making Kiaru consume of that cat like he's a Chinaman. I'm going to get canceled for that. Anyways, so then she kicks him in the balls. Like, she kicks him in his Dragon Balls. And I'm like, ooh, we might have to end up putting a counter up on how many times that happens, because, oh my gosh, she is so evil. So then she does the most dirtiest thing I've ever seen in any anime. I immediately started hating her even more. She poured the purple druggy drug on this man's Minecraft bread and made him consume of his own Minecraft bread. Yeah, you can't make this up. It's like, okay, so even after that, so Blade is a power lesbian, apparently. She was trying to case as a Flare. So after that, she started beating him with a stick, and then started kissing him so she could get the flavor and flick her beanie weenie. And then she threw up, beat him some more, and then Bullet. Well, we're on Bullet right now. I gotta do a whole different segment on Bullet. Give me a sec.
I came looking for man's butt.
A man's butt? Excuse me?
Oh, I know who you are, Chris Hansen. But see, I calls you Chris Handsome. I watch your TV show all the time. So you can go ahead and bring them cameras and them police is waiting outside. It don't make me no difference. Now, I tell you what, I like you and I want you. Now, we can do this the easy way or we can do it the hard way. The choice is yours.
Okay, so the man's Bullet. It's like the anime personification of the booty warrior from that episode of the Boondocks. This man's just gonna walk up to man's Kiaru, like, because Kiaru sees some flowers, some rose petals all flew into his hand, and he all like the booty warrior. He's like, I know who you are, Kiaru, and I want you, and I need you. Now we can do this the easy way or the hard way, which he ends up doing both ways, because he ends up destroying him, but like booty warring his whole soul out. Like he demolished this man multiple times, and then he choked him till he passed out. And he wanted to play it like he's this sympathetic, oh, I'm sorry I did this, I'm sorry I did that. And I'm like, why the black man got to be the scariest one out of all of them? Like, I have not feared any character in any anime as much as I fear Bullet right now, bruh. I can't wait to see what happens to Bullet, because I've read a little bit in the manga, but I have not seen anything that's happened to Bullet yet. I hope the worst death catches Bullet lacking, because this man's just went full on booty warrior on Kiaru. So after all that mess is done, we get into the regular, basic boop doop fantasy stuff. Sell medicine because the city is like sick or whatever, and then they just walk around, and then he ends up buying a combat slave, and ends up being this fox girl, or wolf girl. I think it's a wolf girl. She has this revenge, like this looking inside her eyes, because apparently her whole clan or whatever was murdered, and she wants revenge. And Kiara's like, hey, you're like me. If you come with me, you'll get your revenge. And she just passes out, and he buys her. And then that's basically where the episode ends. Now, I'm curious on what they're going to do for episode 4, because during this episode, that first part, I do not remember even seeing that in the manga. I might have just skimmed over it, because there's a lot of stuff you want to skim over in that manga, but I did not see it, so that was extremely unexpected. Especially the Bullet being a booty warrior, and Flare making Kiaru lick his own drug covered. That's what I should have said, an enhancement. Yeah, she poured some enhancement on his bread and made him consume of his own enhanced bread, enchanted or whatever it's called. I haven't played Minecraft in a minute. Anyways, that's the end of the video. So if you like this type of content, or you want me to just go back to just doing random meme stuff sometimes, or actually writing out full-on reviews, or continue to do what I do, make sure you like, share, subscribe, make the notifications on, because I'm starting to upload maybe once, twice, maybe even 3 times a week, and I don't want y'all to miss that, because I love y'all my fam, y'all the harem disciples, y'all supposed to be there, y'all gonna be there, and we're gonna get through this together. 2021 is gonna be our year, and